Okay, let's get started. The quicker we get started, the quicker we can finish.
Yes, please. Some of us have Terrace House episodes to get to.
Some of us have Victorious to watch and have decided to rewatch all of the View Askew universe films. Hello and welcome back to another lonely episode of Great Mates for another week. I'll quickly... With me is the other usual runner of this podcast, that being Daddy Josh.
Hello.
And yes, it is just the STEM boys again, being lonely in the usual Great Mates lonely way.
That sounds so depressing.
Well, self-isolating since 2017?
2017, yes.
Yes. 2017, so...
No signs of stopping.
Yeah, I mean, there have been chances to, record episodes in person with some people.
But there's not enough time. I mean, there have been...
I mean, we literally have two people in Adelaide. I think it's just a matter of time. And then we had the bin trip to Adelaide. Then we had Anastasia's 2 trips to Adelaide. Then we had few trips to Melbourne. Then we had your trip to Sydney.
Yes, and then Bin's trip up here to Brisbane.
Oh, yeah, that happened.
Yes, that was a thing too.
Yeah.
There's not enough time.
I mean, the closest we came to that was the one episode we recorded on video.
Yeah, that's true. When was that? Was that a Facebook group call or was that a Discord group call?
I think we tried Discord and Discord wasn't working, so we did it on Facebook. I think that may have been one of the times where Discord...
that was the test one. That was the test one because we figured out Discord was pretty crap at that time. And then we came back to Discord. I don't remember. I organised a Zoom stream for last weekend that just didn't even happen. Oh my gosh.
I talked about it a bit through the group chat, but I was like, cool, it's Easter. I was supposed to be in Victoria. My brother was supposed to be going down a couple of weeks previous for work reasons. And then he would have been back up here for Easter. So we wouldn't have met there. It happens regularly. One trip a couple of years ago, my brother went down for a week and a half, came back. I left 2 days after he came back to go to Victoria. And then 2 days after that, he flew to Bali. So I didn't see my brother for 2 months. And that was when he was still living here, just because of the crossover period and that. That was fun. But yeah, because also Dad is at home by himself. So I was like, guys, I'm going to introduce you to Jackbox games. And then it just didn't fucking happen because my brother didn't reply. And then here Mum was just a bit like, I don't know about these games. I don't know them. I'm like, trust me, you will learn them. It explains them to you. I'm not going to try to teach you games that you're not going to get. It's like Cards Against Humanity, but on a computer. And then a couple of days later, Mum was like, you can play Cards Against Humanity on the computer? I was like, yes. We recorded a podcast doing that. Just playing Cards Against Humanity. Yes, Mum, I know this.
Yes, it is a thing.
Yeah, so I had to figure out... Because I was like, hey, Dad, we'll just use Discord, I'll send you a link. You won't have to download anything. You can just use... He's like, no, I already know how to use Zoom. Can we just use Zoom? I was like, okay, I'll teach myself to use Zoom. And Zoom fucking sucks.
It does.
It fucking sucks. But whatever. So, I'll keep on pressing for it to happen sometime. But my brother was just like, I got the latest COD. I'm going to be playing the fuck out of that. I was like, fair enough, bro. But also, you can't spend 2 hours talking to your family.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my brother for you.
Okay, fair enough.
So yeah, my Easter was very uneventful. It was, I mean, I'll get a little bit into it a bit more later, but yeah, it was actually, I read a fuck ton of Wonder Woman. That's what happened. Couple weeks ago, I got Wonder Woman by Gail Simone Omnibus, which is just Gail Simone's entire run of Wonder Woman just in one big thick book. And so I've been reading that. I think I only have like 8. Only a few issues left of it. And then I need to figure out what to read next. And by figure out, I mean just to pick up a goddamn book. I have, like I said, I have like 100 books I haven't read yet. So I just need to pick one up and read it.
Mm-hmm.
But no, and then laughing at Mum playing Wii. That was interesting.
Oh my goodness, those were, again, I think we're revisiting the late 2000s. The rise of the Wii was such a big thing as well for our household. I think we still have our original Wii somewhere.
Well, Dad. Wow. The Wii was at Dad. So when my parents split up, like the PlayStation, we only saw Dad regularly. Like we only saw Dad when Dad moved to Newcastle, like every once a month to once a fortnight at best. So we lived where we lived in the mid-north coast, and then we'd see Dad for like a weekend. So the PlayStation 2 stayed with us, and then we would take it to Dad's. And then Dad was like, taking a PlayStation and all your games up and back is too much. Here, have a Wii. So then when Dad moved to Victoria, because he just grabbed everything, put in his car and left, the Wii went with him. So the Wii is in Victoria, but then I got a Wii U a couple of years ago because I wanted to play all the Wii U Mario games and that. So the Wii U is not in my bedroom at the moment, but usually lives in my bedroom. But of course, because the Wii U just has an inbuilt Wii circuit board in it, it will do all the Wii things. So I was just like, Mum's like, and then we fell into the great pit that is the main cause for the failure of the Wii U, which was Mum was like, is this a Wii or a Wii U? How does this work? And I was like, yes, that's what everyone asked about this console. But yes, well, the Wii U, the successful failure of Nintendo.
Yes,
it was a failure, but it succeeded.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, how was your Easter?
I would also say it was mercifully uneventful. And yeah, I mean, usually we'd catch up with our extended family on Easter Sunday. So, given the current conditions, obviously that didn't happen. We did, however, do a video call with my mum's side of the family. So we're also spread out throughout the world. So that was actually pretty fun. We got to catch up with, because we have family in the US and then most of our family obviously back home in the Philippines. So that was actually pretty cool. It's something that I think, I mean, we do that often, but I think now it's just more important just to catch up with, particularly my maternal grandmother, who's, God bless, she's still around, and just, you know, I think, yeah, it's one of those things now that, I think we're trying to appreciate is, we have the technology to keep in touch with, family overseas. So that's one of the good things. But aside from that, I guess, uneventful, but obviously I'm watching Terrace House. So that's one of the things. And then, MasterChef's back, which means this podcast may very well turn out to have some running MasterChef Australia
that would 2020 segment.
Hey, if when Brandon comes back on, this will turn into
You guys can just start like a
thirst over
short 10
people.
to 20 minute fan pod that just gets released on like a Wednesday or something.
There's some new content for spoilers for days, I guess. God bless. I mean, MasterChef is one of those constants that a lot of people have been craving for and are very glad that it's back on, particularly right now. So, yeah, maybe we'll see.
I hope that they keep the ads now to a minimum, not because I dislike the show, but because my stepdad dislikes the show or anything on TV more or less. And he's just like, who the fuck watches this? No one ever fucking watches this. And I just have to be like, people watch it, which is why they put it on. Also, like, I watched the first couple seasons and enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, people
still enjoy it.
Yeah, people still enjoy it.
And this season is the season with the new judges. So it
new
makes
judges
sense that...
and losers. All the losers.
Oof. All the non-winners. But some of them are quite, like, legitimately quite successful if you think about it. Like Poe and Reynold and Brendan and Khan and Ben Ungerman, although there is a big question around what happened and why he had to be excluded from the remainder of the competition. I'll be interested to see what they say when that episode comes out. So yeah, it's been a slog because when we're recording this, they've already broadcast the first 2 episodes, and those 2 episodes have been at least 2 hours long. So, sorry, 2 hours and then an hour 45. So they are quite long episodes with ads. But it's helping to tide over ISO.
And got you through your long weekend.
Yeah.
No, just you talking about, talking to extended family. It was my dad's mum's birthday over the weekend, so I made sure to give her a call, and they definitely these are the grandparents that decided to go on a cruise from Sydney to New Zealand after New Zealand had already closed their borders. Dad said, don't go. They flew to Sydney, stayed overnight, got to the wharf. Someone at the wharf said, why the fuck are you here? The cruise was cancelled. Dad rushed them back to Geelong, picked them up, took them home, checked the email, where 3 days prior they'd got an email saying your cruise is cancelled. So it's these people. But my family were definitely not following social isolation rules, because after talking to my grandmother, she was like, oh, your dad's here. Do you want to talk to your dad? He's just here cooking croquettes. And your aunt came around to drop off some groceries and she thought your dad was here. So they're now chatting. And I was like, I spoke to Dad like 2 or 3 days prior. I talked to Dad I talked to Dad via Messenger every 2 to 3 days-ish. But one of the stories that he got out of my aunt, which I will share because it completely describes my cousins, is... I've just got to find it. That's the wrong chat. It was... By the way... Aiden hit Cooper over the head with a hoe and now he's got stitches.
Oh my god.
My cousins are bloody crazy. And yeah, I was like, of course Aiden hit Cooper over the head with a hoe. And of course now Cooper has stitches. Cooper rode his bike off the veranda once, broke his arm, and then had docs called. My aunt and uncle took him to the hospital, where the hospital called docs, because the apparently only way you can break your arm that way is if your parent holds you up by the arm and shakes you. No, my cousin just fell off his bike because he's a fucking idiot and was 3 or 4 years old.
Went off the veranda.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like a high veranda. It's, maybe a meter max, maybe 2 feet. But a kid falling off that. Because they have a long veranda that loops the house.
Oh,
so he'll usually they'll usually ride their
Do a
bikes
lap.
up and down or do a lap or whatever. And either he
Oh,
was
God.
speeding or he was like, I wonder what will happen if I jump off.
My
And
God.
yeah, he just decided to jump off.
My God.
And yeah, broke his arm.
Hmm.
So yeah, hearing that one got hit over the head with a hoe.
Not surprising.
Yeah. I was like, because usually, like, when I'm there, we'll go to my aunt and uncle's place and we'll have a small Easter type thing, more just catching up. And my cousins love to play with me, so I'm always happy to play with them. So jump on the trampoline, play hide and seek, play chases, other things like that. So usually, I'll go and play with them. So it was good to at least know that they're still all good. Also, I do not envy them in my aunt and uncle in having to homeschool those two for the next three for the next 3 months, more or less.
Oof.
I'm like, those kids are going to be fucking crazy. Also, the fact that the internet out there is not good.
Oh, great.
So I'm like, I don't know. Luckily, it's not like they're high schoolers or anything. They're like, hello, Anastasia is 10? 9. 9, I think. And then it's like 5 and 3, 4, 6.
Oh, okay.
So they're all like, young. So it's not like they're going to be missing out on much. But, I mean, like, the kids I was teaching before I got the placement put on hold, they were year 4. So, like, same age as my oldest of that lot. And then, like, for a lot of them, like, school is routine and it's... I mean, not that I've been going crazy, but, like, the last couple of days, it just gets to, like, lunchtime and you're like, the fuck else am I going to do? There's only so many times you can clean the house, read so much, get tired of watching whatever on Netflix. So yeah, what I've been doing more or less is like going on a bike ride for every day for the last couple days. Just fun. Just previously it was once a week, but like I said, it gets to like lunchtime and I'm like, what the fuck else am I going to do? So I've been going every day and just around my area. There's like a hidden path that loops all the way down from the highway down to the like football fields and actually all the way down to more or less the airport. So it's a good like 15 15k road or path or whatever. But today I decided to ride all the way down the longest I've ever ridden, which was, I mean, I just put screenshots in the chat. So the first one, I rode 5.3 Ks down to the turn off to go kind of to the airport. Turned around, rode back, where I went down a hill in a low gear, in like 6th gear, tried to then shift up to like first to go up a hill, where my bike decided the chain was going to fall off and get caught, and I had to push my bike back 3 Ks.
Oh, no. Oh,
which
no.
wasn't, like, 3 Ks is not a lot. 3 Ks is an easy walk for me. But pushing a bike and, like, not being able to ride said bike, because what had happened was
that makes it a lot.
The chain had got caught between the bracket that holds the axle and the nuts for the wheel and the gear itself. And I was, like, I ended up, like, standing on it trying to use my weight to dislodge it, but nah, it wasn't. So I had to push this goddamn bike 3 Ks home, where I just got a wrench, undid the nuts, the chain fell out, I put the chain back on the gears, and redid the nuts. It was a 2-minute, not even that, a 30-second job. So, yeah, that was fun.
Okay.
I have to remember to take a spanner with me from now on.
Well, speaking of new routines, I guess, is I've been doing like 6K walks around my suburb ever since last Wednesday. I think by Wednesday I was like, I need to get out of the house, and like, yeah, even here it's just like I just need to get out and do something that is not like stare at my laptop
yeah, exactly.
watching. So yeah, but my excuse is there's an added benefit. I play Pokemon Go and Harry Potter, so there's an incentive for me to actually get out of the house and actually walk, which is not bad, but 6Ks isn't bad. It's just the area that I'm in is quite hilly, so that's always fun. That's always a good burn. So yeah, I think this period of time is doing things to people in a way that it makes them, I don't know, maybe we'll come out at the other end a lot healthier. I mean, for those of us who are able to go out and exercise, that's an option that we can do.
It also helps that it's nice weather, where it's not like you're in, it's not summer, it's not winter.
Thank God it's not summer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have aircon. It'd just be inside with that goddamn aircon on 24/7.
Yeah, but still.
But also, we already had 3 months of fires. We don't want another 3 months of fires.
Yeah, no, we don't want that.
But no, yeah. I mean, we were talking to Anastasia before, and she said that she's been doing yoga and going out as well. So I think this podcast is sponsored by going out and doing a little bit of exercise.
Is it sponsored by Fitbit?
Nah, fuck Fitbit. I was gonna get one. Mum had one that she broke, and if she ended up replacing it or something. She was like, "You want to get one? Borrow it." I put it on once, didn't use it, and then just gave it back to her and went, "Yeah, I don't want one now. Fuck Fitbit. Fucking hate Fitbit."
Oh, goodness me.
Sponsored by Samsung Health.
Oh, there we go. Samsung Galaxy Watch 2 or 3, whichever. What is the latest version now? I know we have a running gag in terms of dropping name brand, but what if, right? It wouldn't be a bad spot.
No. I mean, while we're on the Samsung train, my phone has been chugging at the moment, and I'm like, if this phone is already bricking itself, Optus are going to hear a bloody fucking earful. Because I've had this since, like, November. I've had it since, like, November. So if this thing's already fucking shitting itself, I don't fucking care about social distancing. I'll be going down there, pegging bricks through their windows and coughing on those cunts if my phone is not working. Oh, my God. Oh, dear. I don't even have it. I'll just scare the fuck out of them enough. No. I mean, it's no lie that while we record this, we are doing other things sometimes. But that just popped on my Facebook. Because you have viewed Newcastle video game community and classifieds, you may like RBT, MDT, police locations in Newcastle and surroundings. Oh, gamers, you're giving us bad names. You need to know where all the fucking booze buses and drug buses are, guys.
Gosh, oh God. Oh, don't worry. I'm scrolling through my feed, and subtle Asian traits is a wild thing right now. Yeah. Oh, okay. Speaking of strange things that are happening right now, can we mention what is going on with Simu, please?
I mean, it's no lie that the man is going crazy.
Man, God, I'm going through his stories sometimes. I'm like, are you okay? Do you need to talk to someone?
I mean, you would have watched the Kim's season finale pre-show where he was like, thank God, talking to someone.
I need to rewatch it. I wasn't watching properly, I think. But yeah. Goodness. speaking of you actually just reminded me we need to record something. Yes, and that will happen soon. Okay, I'll bring this up now. I think we'll bring it up again when we have more people on. There was something on subtle Asian traits, and I cannot figure out if it is if it's an April Fool's thing or if it's genuinely a real promotional item. So Subway somewhere is doing a promotion where they are promoting durian in subs.
Ew.
And that's let me put it here. That's wild. Very, very wild. So I genuinely, yeah, it's the new avocado, and I'm not sure if I am here for it. So if people are listening who are in subtle Asian traits, you'll know the meme. It's a Subway ad that says Durian Delight. They're putting, it looks like what they've done is, it really looks like they've just substituted the avocado for durian and then are just promoting it. I put it in chat so you can have a look and just like, I don't know. I have an aversion to durian. I just can't eat it. I think I've told this story before where, what was it? I grabbed what I thought were, like pastillas de leche, which is like condensed milk, lollies.
Yes.
Like in the kitchen. Took them into my room, put one in my mouth, and then suddenly smelled disappointment in the form of durian. So
That's a
it's
good way
a
of
durian
describing
flavored
it.
pastillas de leche. To me, durian is too strong. I know my dad and some of my siblings do like the taste, so it's well, thank God we don't have it in the house. But yeah, how do you feel about that ad, Nick?
Yeah, I'm not, sold.
Same. And this thing, I don't know if I genuinely do not know if this is a,
It has
like
to have been an
April
April
Fool's.
Yeah, it has to have been. Like,
20.
I will say, like, everyone already knows that April 1st this year, like, everyone was collectively like, yeah, no.
Please no.
Everyone was like, if it's good, and if it actually will make, like, if it's at no one's expense, and it's fun, yeah, sure, do it. But a lot of the time, it's just stupid and confusing, and I mean, listening to Hank Green's podcast with his wife, they were like, we can't top last year's. Because last year, Hank Green was like, I'm opening up my own brewery. And everyone was like, is this real? Is this fake? It seems real. Like he's at a brewery filming.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it seems like it's something Hank would do. But no, Hank was just having a good laugh. I'm like, that was good. But you see, like, a wrestler's wife pulled the I'm pregnant. And I'm like, guys.
Oh, gosh.
1, don't do that. 2, it's fucking old. Get a better joke.
Get a better prank, please.
Unless you can do that if you are pregnant and you make the joke that you have twins. That's a fine joke. That's a funny joke.
Yes.
No one's getting hurt because you were already pregnant.
Yeah. Oh, what was that April Fool's one that I shared to our group chat? The Cha Time Krispy Kreme collaboration?
See, that was a good one. That
is a good one.
And I would have totally, happily had that be real.
Yeah.
Especially seeing that cheese is already a real thing for tea, it seems.
For bubble tea, yes. Cheese foam is a thing. In my opinion, some cheese foams are better than others. and don't at me. But yeah, the thing is, there are places around the world that have done the donut filled with the pearls before, so that's not a complete stretch. It would have been,
and it's also not a stretch for Krispy Kreme that regularly do weird things.
Yeah, so it could totally have made sense. Although the cha time, the ad itself was promoting tiny little Krispy Kreme original glazed donuts as a topping in the milk tea, which is a massive giveaway. But still,
but I think that they did that on purpose. It being like, we'll make it obvious this is a joke, so no one gets embarrassed trying to either order it or no one completely gets drawn into it.
Yeah. Although donut flavored milk tea is also not that much of a stretch. Given, as we've said, there are things like cheese foam now available for milk tea. Yeah.
I will say, while we're on the Krispy Kreme train, they did on the Twitter, they did the, like, you have $5. These are your donut options. Make a donut. So it was $5, and original glazed donut was $5. And I was like, I get that, guys, because you can't do much to it. But, like, and I love a good glazed donut, but, like, no.
Oh my goodness.
I also refuse to buy your overpriced donuts to begin with.
Oh.
Like, I'm down for a good donut if it's worth it, but rarely is it worth it.
Fair enough. Seeing as we're STEM boys, we should probably try and find something that is on brand. Is there anything STEM-ish related that's been...
I mean, I personally love that there is a lab in Geelong that is currently working on a corona vaccine that are using it on ferrets.
Oh, they're doing the testing on ferrets?
On ferrets. I'm like, I love you, Geelong.
Okay.
I love you, Geelong.
I mean, ferrets, huh? That's not something that that you usually hear about.
It's because so few animals can actually get COVID-19. So they're like, we need to find an animal that can actually be infected. It turns out ferrets can be infected, which also sucks if you have a pet ferret, because if you get it, your pet ferret. In
Australia?
No, because Australia has really strict laws against exotic pets.
Yes.
So, like, you cannot have gerbils or hamsters or chinchillas or... Actually, you might be able to have ferrets in Australia.
I don't know.
I have a feeling.
Maybe it depends on the state, because I know in
Queensland you can't have
legally
fucking
you
rabbits.
Cannot have... Yes.
But...
ferrets in Australia.
Well, here's for Queensland.
Oh, okay. So it says Queensland and Northern Territory, ferrets are prohibited as pets. But in the other states, you're okay? Okay. Sure.
Yeah, because I swear I know people... Well, here's Victoria. What does Victoria say? Yeah, in Victoria it's fine.
Okay.
But they are just tube-shaped rats.
Long rats.
Also, you have the whole thing of ferret legging, which I love that ferret legging exists. Which are people that don't know. It's, you get ferrets, you put them in your trousers, and you see how long you can have ferrets in your trousers for as they bite and scratch your legs.
Ugh.
And it's a sport. Well, sport as so much as you get a bunch of drunk people and go, put these ferrets in your trousers.
Lord help us all.
But yeah, no, I was like, good on you, Geelong. It's always good when you see Geelong just be Geelong.
Okay, aside from that, what else has been going on? I feel like there's a new Mars thing, right? There always seems to be a new Mars thing these days.
Yeah, I mean, going back, Hank Green on Dear Hank and John, he does have the News from Mars segment, so, like, there has to always be Mars news. I wonder if I can find it again. Someone, while we're thinking about space-related things, I saw a shirt on either Twitter or Facebook or whatever that was a shirt that someone had bought from Wish. That was supposed to be like the poster to Alien. However, instead it said, "Alan, in space, no one can hear you in space." I was like, hear that, Alan?
Yeah, Alan. My God. Is your audio dropping out? Is that a thing that's happening again?
Not as much. It is a little bit, but I'm mostly fine.
Okay.
And I'm able to pick it up a lot better.
Ah, sweet. Okay.
Which I talked about this before, but I still don't know how it happens honestly, it's happened 3 times now in 40 minutes, yet I can be on it for 3 hours and it doesn't drop out. I don't know why, because I'm not doing anything different.
It hates podcasts. Your phone hates podcasts.
It hates this podcast. Same reason why, like, it doesn't get the side shows in my podcast app, but, like, I can import most other podcasts.
Yeah, your phone hates us. So I think you really might need to go and pay a visit to...
let's go cough on Optus. Hang on, why is Ansett trending on Twitter? Guys, Ansett... Ansett hasn't been a thing for 20 years.
because Virgin Australia, I think that's why. Yes,
it's related to it's Virgin.
Yeah, it's related to VA's. Yeah. That's a name. That's a brand I have not heard.
I was just like, why is Ansett trending? And I can tell you why Virgin needs a bailout. Because, one, you don't want monopolies. And 2, like, you need... I went through this before, but you need regional carriers because that's how fucking FIFO works. And, I don't know. They don't need, like, a full bailout, but it'd be nice to, make some fucking sense. So much MMA. Why... I don't know why MMA's... just... just like Twitter's like, here, you'll like this. Twitter was like, here, have a whole heap of MMA-related things. I'm like, I suppose. I haven't looked at anything MMA-related for quite a while. Actually, no, the last thing I would have looked at MMA-related is, fucking, what's his name? Dana White being like, I want a private island to host UFC fights on during the pandemic.
Well, that was the same argument that someone brought up for the NRL season.
Well, there was the whole stupid AFL zone idea that was floating around last week about pretty much making bets on which states will come out of lockdown soonest.
Jesus Christ.
So they were like, okay, we think WA and Tasmania will come out first. So we'll hold round robins in Tasmania and WA, and then we're thinking it might be Queensland next. So we'll then have some games in Queensland. And I was like, guys,
oh my God,
the only way that will work is if you actually hear it, like if you actually know. But by then you also then have to have stadiums all set up. You have to fly teams out. You then have to take teams away from their families. You have to. I'm like, guys, this isn't going to work. I'm a person that loves AFL. I like the whole idea of sport in general. I watched the V8 E-Series last week, mainly because I just wanted to see what it would be like. And it wasn't fucking interesting, I'll tell you that. It's a whole bunch of guys playing Forza, more or less. But, no, like, I want my sports. But I don't want it where players are going to get sick or be away from their families or whatever. Also, like, it's just dangerous. And I think that goes for a whole heap of stuff.
Yeah.
And it is interesting where racing has gone to this esports pretty much, where they've got sim driving, but it also is just people playing Forza. Maybe they should just like get AFL players to play the AFL game on Xbox One and PS4, and NFL players can just play Madden. Ice hockey players. Just, I don't know, like the WWE test has kind of done a bit of that, where they did like Dream WrestleMania, where they had matches on the 2K20 engine, which was not a good idea because the 2K engine is notoriously shit. And the news came out today that there isn't going to be a 2K21, and it's going to a different company because as that was floated around, the graphics were better in WWE 13 than they were in 2K20, which is never good. But I mean, also just the whole idea. I don't think a lot of stuff is going to be happening lately. Like, movies are being pushed back. It only makes sense that then video games are going to get pushed back. I know before Australia went into lockdown, EB Games broke, I don't know what you would call it, but they released all the games that were coming out for the next week or so early, and because they didn't know whether they were going to be closed or not, which they're still open, but I'm actually surprised at what's still open, in all honesty.
I mean, I think we have been pretty good in terms of trying to advocate for those like physical distancing measures. I think they've been there's the whole. I mean, I'm not fully on board with the no cash, but I understand why. But I don't know. It's just I think this time is an interesting social science study. Definitely. It has so many implications on how society functions and the things. Also, I would love to see the birth rate in the next 12 months. Oh, look. There have been... Let's just... You know that there will be a baby boom. It's almost guaranteed at this point. Baby boom 2.0. Yes. And people have already been naming their children COVID or Corona or like derivatives based off of that. They can be in a relationship with someone a little bit older than them called Khaleesi. Oh, good Lord. No, there are, I swear I've seen this. A friend sent this to me. It was a photo of a birth certificate from the Philippines that literally said COVID Bryant. And I asked them, is this real? And they said, oh, yes, it is. And, come on, Philippines. Yeah, you have people doing that, and yet my parents decided not to name my brother Anthony because they thought that Nick and Tony sounded too much like a pizza shop. It's exactly why the name Anthony was cut down, because they're like, we're not having Nick and Tony's pizza shop. Nick and Tony's pizza shop. Oh, goodness me. That's like an off-brand Mario Brothers game. Yeah, instead of plumbers, they're pizzeria owners. What would they, instead of pipes, what would they would like jump into wood pots. Fire ovens? No, they would jump into chimneys? Wood fire ovens? Into the chimneys of wood fire ovens. Yeah, there we go. Yes. Wow, oh my goodness. Okay, this is a question I'll ask you. If Great Mates were a video game, what video game would we be? Oh, I mean, depends what aspects you want to take. Because, I mean, like, you could go dating sim. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. What, like Dream Daddy? Oh God. Or you could go down the path of the
like business simulator, where it's like create a
business
podcast simulator.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
like you've got
yes,
YouTube simulator and
yes. Podcaster Simulator 2020. That's a game everyone's playing right now.
Did you hear about Chrissy Teigen?
No, but go on.
She literally came out and said, "Will people please stop asking me to be on your podcast? No, I will not be on your podcast."
She can. God bless Chrissy. She's such a blessing. I was thinking maybe Mario Party-esque. See.
Or what?
Or Smash Brothers. Super Smash.
It would probably have to have drop-in, drop-out multiplayer.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. I mean, at the moment, it'd probably be Animal Crossing adjacent.
Oh my God, yes. It honestly probably would be some sort of like Animal Crossing DLC sort of thing. As villagers, huh?
If it doesn't already exist, the next update needs to have like podcasting equipment.
Oh,
so that you can record. You can just like steal some of
Timmy and Tommy will be selling bits and pieces, so you'll get like the condenser microphone.
It'll be a Rodecaster Pro sponsorship.
It will be
like the Mario Kart,
the Mercedes-Benz one.
Yeah,
I remember
that.
That collab. I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah, it's still, and I mean, it exists in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Yes, I know. I was like, what?
Okay, guys, it still exists in the Switch version.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if it isn't going to be Rode, it's going to be Audio Technica.
No, they'll all have Skull Candy headphones.
Oh my God.
We'll go back to 2008.
Good Lord. What else will you need? Mic, headphones, mixer. Maybe these will all be like sponsored by soundboard. Yes. And then Tom Nook would probably have some sort of weird podcast app to download on your phone. Oh God. Speaking of Animal Crossing, I have managed to expand I've paid off my loan already once, which means good. So I've got the bigger living area. Now I've got the first extension. So there's that. And I've now started playing with the turnip thing. Those pesky turnips. Fingers crossed. I'm actually going to make a lot of money off of them turnips. We'll see. What else has happened? No Tarantula Island yet, which is disappointing. But managed to get 2 sturgeons in the one day, which is pretty good effort. Yeah, it is actually. Given that I think I caught one of them with like the shittiest fishing rod.
Is he gone now? Has he been sent back to hell?
The demon has returned from whence he came. Pesky Bunny Day, my gosh. For people that may not know, Bunny Day was a thing that happened on Animal Crossing and people hated the rabbit. There were challenges. You had to basically craft all conceivable recipes, and then once you'd done that, he actually gave you another recipe to complete. And then once you completed that final recipe, Zipper rewarded you with another recipe for freaking Bunny Day 1. I'm like, come on, stop, please. I don't need... Oh.
And the problem was as well, the eggs took away from... It was like cherry blossoms or something was the other...
Well, yeah, Sakura season was a thing in the Northern Hemisphere.
Yeah.
And now I have now so many eggs. What am I going to do with them? I'm not going to craft anything else. I have to... Actually, Is that a thing? How much are the eggs
I don't even
worth? You don't play.
No, I don't
Bunny
play.
egg cost.
But I mean, I keep the same way I keep up to track with weekly wrestling. I keep up to track with what's happening in Animal Crossing, mainly because it's funny. But like the next DLC seems to have, well, the next event seems to have no real event currency or event items, which is good. People are overrun by eggs. They don't need more.
Oh, they're only
like it's supposed to be like Earth Day or something's the next event. Yeah, it's supposed to be. I swear it's like Earth Day related.
Interesting. Okay, so the eggs by themselves are worth 200 each, but the items that you craft are obviously worth more. So, is it? Is it worth? I guess it really is worth crafting more than to. Yeah, I guess I'll just sell all of them. Interesting. Okay. That's fine.
Yeah, the next event is Earth Day related.
What are we going to do with that? It's just going to be given the rampant environmental destruction that happens in order to progress in the game.
The organizer is Leaf the Sloth.
Eh? Okay,
and
sure.
There is limited information.
Well,
in New Leaf, characters were asked to remove the weeds from your town. By helping him, you could get a reward.
Okay.
So maybe that could be similar. Pocket Camp, there were new flowers and furniture introduced, including flower planting related events. So apparently there's something about breeding hybrid flowers.
Ooh. We're going back to classic Mendelian Punnett squares and all the memories.
Oh, Punnett squares, which aren't really a thing anyway.
No, they aren't. It's just... Goodness me.
Oh, Punnett squares are a thing. They like the I after E rule. There are more exceptions than actually follow the rule.
Yes. And then once you start adding more and more like fatal genes and whatnot, they just become too complicated. Yeah, that was first year bio in uni. Well, yeah, because I never did bio in high school, so I never got the exposure to Punnett squares. That was my first one, and it was with the what was it? Was it with the Drosophila? I think it was with Drosophila. So there was a sim that was made where you could crossbreed flies, Drosophila, and then it would spit out the data, and then you turn out that like you would reverse engineer the Punnett square and make sure the data was correct and whatnot. And oh goodness me, that was a time that I don't even apply to anything anymore. Oh god.
Yeah. Okay. Have I ever talked about the stick insects on here?
No.
No.
I don't think so.
So one of my friends in high school was a bug guy. He bred bugs, he collected bugs. That was his thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a lot of stick insects. And an interesting thing about stick insects is that they're really bad at breeding. Not in the panda way, in the fly way, where they just have a fuck ton of offspring and most of them are just either invalid for life, but they're a good way to look at mutations. However, the bunch that we got, so for year 10 we were looking at it, so we had a whole bunch and we were supposed to look at mutations, but this lot was really good at not mutating. There was just a bunch of really regular looking stick insects. And afterwards we were like, what the fuck are we going to do with these? We don't really want to kill them. And Owen doesn't really need more stick insects, so I ended up taking a whole bunch of them home.
Oh,
so I had stick insects, and it was only like, I think I had some eggs as well, and like I never had more than like half a dozen at a time because Mum poisoned them all with leaves that they shouldn't have been eating. But yeah, I had stick insects, and yeah, that kind of reminded me about looking at genetics. And you know, we always, as people know, I am a STEM boy, and like you're always trying to keep it interesting for those that, one, looking at classes where people may not be as interested, but also like extracurricular interesting things.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, science was always fun in high school for me, except in year 7, where the teacher didn't figure out, and this is something that I've kind of taken into my training as an educator. She didn't figure out that my misbehavior was my misbehavior was that even though I was in the top class, I was still fucking dead bored because this content was so basic.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of like pushing, she punished, which didn't really work that well. Teachers will learn. The future teachers will learn.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's always. I was upset that last year while I was at the high school, I didn't really get to do much science wise. But at the same time, you can't really leave the behavioural kids with strong acids.
Mm-hmm. What the
What?
Oh no. Just scrolling through Twitter. Just see if anything spicy's come up.
No.
I think we better start wrapping up. Hang on, there's just one last. There's a tweet I saw. There's a tweet. The tweet reads, "Due to less air pollution, the sky is so clear I can see the Universal logo." Yes, we are living in a simulation. We truly are living in a simulation. But yeah. Anything else that we want to cover, or we're going to save it because, as again, the Rona is preventing us from talking more about.
I found this timeline of the use of singular they.
Ooh.
The first use of singular they in written literature is the Canterbury Tales in the 1300s. So there you go, guys.
Interesting.
The singular they has existed for nearly 800 years. A little bit over 700.
Yeah, in English. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, some of those other languages, not so good with the singular they.
Although there are some that have a singular they and then you infer gender somehow. So like with languages like Korean and the Filipino languages, Chinese languages, if you are going to say there's no word that directly translates to he or she, so it's actually a non-gendered pronoun, then you infer gender, then you tack on whatever, which is interesting to me. Something that I noticed, because when you talk about someone in the third person, you can say they, and then you infer gender based on that. So yeah, it's a weird, like, linguistics is such a very intriguing area for, like, that I love to dip my head into once in a while, and it's one of those things I'm like, yeah, there's no actual like direct translation for he or she into things like languages like Korean or any Filipino language that I've noticed, or like even Chinese, I think, because they all have sort of a similar root. you're always in for a gender after you mention they. If you don't mention a name, you always say they. So yeah.
Have you seen the latest Tom Scott video?
Oh, the expletive inflection thing?
Yes.
Yes,
how
I
that
have.
talks about how some languages have inflection that
changes the
that isn't just swearing, more or less.
Yes.
Which, for those that don't know, it's words like abso-fucking-lutely,
yes.
where you put a word in the middle of a word.
Fan-fucking-tastic.
But it only works in some contexts.
Yes.
And with
you can't
English,
like
just throw the word anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't just like throw it anywhere.
No. It has to be before a stressed consonant. But yeah.
Yeah, just linguistics is fucking weird.
Yes. It really is. But it's so interesting, and I'm just like, ooh. Yeah. Anyway, should we wrap up?
Sure.
Yes. Okay, in which case...
I mean, we probably should have wrapped up an hour and 10 minutes ago.
Oh. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe this will be a 4-minute episode. It'll be a hello and goodbye. Nah, it'll be good. There's some salvageable stuff there, but fucking hell, that phone of yours, Nick, has to... Okay. So we'll do recommendations and then socials, and we'll say goodbye. So Nick, what are you going to recommend this week?
My recommend is very lowbrow, but it's like the entire View Askew universe from Kevin Smith. I just watched Jay and Silent Bob reboot, and it's like it's a fucking good movie. It's not great, but it's good. There's like Ben Affleck's in it making Batman v Superman Martha jokes, and the actors are all self-referential, and it's just interesting filmmaking, and it makes me think back to like Clerks and Dogma and Chasing Amy, or I'm like, all those movies, as lowbrow as they are, and as what they are, there's some like really interesting filmmaking techniques and storytelling and all that in there, and I think I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch them all because they're all very interesting movies, if not weird stories, and yeah, they're interesting. So if that sounds interesting to you, I mean, like, Clerks is always a good movie to kind of start to watch because it's black and white, which is gonna, you know, help some people jerk off. But but it's also like, it's not fully crude. It's very crude, but it's not. It's good. It is good. And, you know, I might throw some tweets up, so look out for that on my Twitter, which is @NickLancroon. And my Twitter, that's my Twitter. My Insta has the exact same handle. So
because we love consistency. Because we love consistency.
Some of us do, at least.
Yes, that's true. Well, some of us have constraints in terms of what the
periods.
Platform. Yes. Because some platforms hate periods. And then some people have names that probably no one else maybe in the world has, but at least no one else in Australia has. Yeah. So there's that. What am I going to recommend this week? I'm going to recommend a...
MasterChef.
No. I mean,
yes, but...
I mean, yeah, but I'm actually going to recommend a film on Netflix. It's a Netflix original film. I think that's how they've branded it. It's called Tiger Tail. So it's a story based on people who may know Alan Yang, who's a comedian and screenwriter who wrote he's based in the US. He's an Asian American. It's loosely based on his father's journey from Taiwan to America and the struggle and the connections. It is a really good film, especially for those of us who are Asian diasporic. And yes, that is my brand. One of the many brands that I have. I feel like it does a really good job showing people the differences in priorities that immigrant parents have compared to their children and the expectations. There's also some really interesting things that happen, if I'm going to put my psychotherapy hat on for like a hot second. Intergenerational patterns of behavior. If you know what I'm talking about and you watch this, you'll know, if you know what I'm talking about, you'll know what happens when you see it in the film. And, it's just really good. And, everyone's favorite Asian American father figure, Chima, is once again gracing our screen. So there is that. So yeah, I'm going to recommend Tiger Tail if you want to come follow me. I am currently live tweeting my way through MasterChef Australia along with most people in Australia. I'm also going to be tweet threading reacting to Terrace House, which is currently my brand, on Twitter as well. Come find me there and on Instagram as Abang Pinoy. And then if you want to come follow us, podcasts, socials, we are Great Mates Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. And yeah, sub to us, sub to our podcasts. Let's Get Deeper, Spoilers for Days, Inter-Community Podcast, and Unpack This Brain. Those last two are our new shows that I am hosting and co-hosting with friends of mine. That's going to be a fun, exciting journey. Yeah, sub to us wherever you're listening. Give us a rating and review if you want to leave us questions. Use hashtag Great Mates Podcast or slide into our DMs. That's how we'll do it. And then, I don't know, maybe we will come back with a quote-unquote regular episode next week, or we might do something fun and interesting. If you have any suggestions, yeah, feel free to let us know. But with that, we'll see you guys in another episode. Bye!
See ya!